What is up, y'all? As you might have guessed by the title and the thumbnail and the blurred out something in that thumbnail, we finally just received the final prototypes of the new GOC basses. More on that in a second. And today we're here to unbox and check it out, do a little tone test, and talk about what's changed. And to put it in perspective, a few months ago, quite a few months ago now, I did post a review of this, which I'll link up above and down below. And this was the original prototype of the GOC bass. And thanks to all of the feedback from all of you great bass players out there, GOC took everything to heart and took this bass completely back to the drawing board. You're gonna see what I mean in just a second here, but this is where we started, right? This is the GOC Illumina B. This is the Illumina bass. This was the first one made. And now we're on to the next iteration of it, which is going to be available to the public, which is pretty crazy to think about. All this work and everything GOC has done to get these basses ready. And I already thought this one was sick, but there were a lot of changes that needed to be made that we'll talk about in a second. So while I talk about those changes, let's go ahead and open up that bass, shall we? All right, I think I pulled off all the labels that would, dox me and my home address and everything. So those are all off of there. Now, when the first Illumina bass was announced, and I did that initial video, there was a lot of opinions, strong and critical, and as they should be. Now, GOC took all of those. They were in the chats, they were in the comments, they were checking out every one of those pieces of feedback, and they took nearly all of them back to the drawing board and really put in the work to perfect this bass as much as they could before getting it into the hands of other people. Now, some of you might have seen it in the hands of other people already, and that's because good old FedEx really lagged on getting this to me, and would have loved to have had a video out quite a bit sooner, but only just received these, and I'm beyond stoked to be digging into it right now. So a few of the changes while I'm sitting here cutting this open. The original prototype bass had GOC's original bridge system, which if you've watched my more recent videos, again, linked up above and down below, blah, 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 you'll know that GOC has recently unveiled the new low pro bridge system for the Headless guitars, which is honestly a game changer. It's such a great bridge. The tuners are infinitely easier to turn, which was the biggest problem with that prototype GOC bass, is at full tension, those tuners were nearly impossible to turn. With a guitar pick or not, I had to use a quarter actually to turn them, which was pretty hilarious. So the low pro bridge system has been redesigned for a bass, which is awesome. Other major feedback was pickups and pickup placement. The pickups I thought sounded great already, but being a Dingwall player, normally I have the Dingwall NG2 behind me on the wall there. I was used to a different pickup array and placement, and turns out all of you were too. That was one of the biggest pieces of feedback, was that GOC should change the pickup placement on the bass. And so that's something that they visited as well. So they did their own iteration on that with a brand new set of pickups that are made specifically for this bass to deliver sonic supremacy. I don't know, GOC, you should steal that for some marketing on the website. Or is that too cheesy? Sonic supremacy. All right, enough of my yapping. We're finally into the box. All right, gotta take top off carefully and not knock over my tripod. All right, so we got some goodies that just fell out of the box too. So just like last time, GOC provided the Pickguard not installed on the guitar. The reason being, not everybody wanted the Pickguard, but GOC didn't want you to have to buy a whole other bass to get one with the Pickguard. So the choice is yours. You have the Pickguard in the box. That way you can install it or not. I probably will. I was team Pickguard on the last one. So before we take a look at this now, tell me if you're team Pickguard or no Pickguard on these basses. I guess it'll depend on the finish, but oh, I can already see that this is a looker as far as color goes. Let's go ahead and get it out of the box. Got to be careful with this one. This specific one isn't mine. This one is going to be going out to someone else, but I'm here to inspect it, test it, and find out if there's any issues with it. I think you might be able to tell the color a little bit based on that camera angle. Oh man, holy crap. That's insane. That looks ridiculous, as I expected it to. All right, y'all. This is the new and the improved version of the GOC Illumina bass. This is a 5-string, 33-35 inch scale. More on that in a little bit, stay tuned. And make sure you stay tuned till the end so you can actually hear what these sound like. I'm not just gonna yap about them forever, but the unboxing takes a little bit, you know, come on now. Now, I don't know if you've all seen behind me here, there is another box. So that's another reason to stick around for a little bit. Got another little surprise for you. It's gonna happen in this video, so stick around. So, as I was saying, this is a 33-35 inch scale. Again, more on that. GOC Illumina 5-string bass. You've got your 5-piece maple and micarta neck here. Super stable, looks really good. It's the same AO neck that you'd expect from the guitars, just a little bit longer, obviously, because it's a bass. And that's what makes it so freaking nice and so nice to play. Something I loved about the prototype that I have behind me is the neck is just great. I've never felt a neck like that on a bass before. The new Low Pro bridge system, which you should be seeing up on screen right now as well. So this new Low Pro bridge system is a game changer, super easy to turn even on this bass, which is kind of wild actually feeling how easy that is. But let's talk about these new humbuckers. So this is the Bellow progressive humbucking set for the GOC Illumina bass guitars. And you'll notice they're quite a bit different in spacing now than they were on the previous iteration. So here is the previous Illumina bass, and then obviously bottom is the new and improved version. So the spacing is a lot more similar to a Dingwall NG2. And that's for a lot of reasons. One, proximity to each other when you're blending gives you certain tonal capabilities that you can't get when they're further apart. So you get not only more tonal capabilities, but you just get better tonal capabilities because of the fact that the neck pickup is also closer to the bridge. And so you're getting kind of the best of both worlds there, where you're getting those deeper tones because you are further towards the neck end of the bass, but you're also then able to get some of those like jazz bass kind of sounds because it's further down. And obviously, you know, we're gonna try out some grind tones with this as well because you can't go with that pickup array and not, you know? So this has the electronics setup that you would expect on an active pickup bass. And so you do have the main volume, you have the blend knob, and then you have a middle, a treble, and a bass knob as well. So you have that 3-band EQ on board so that you can adjust the tone based on the amp that you're plugging into or the amp sim as we're going to use today, because I don't actually own a real bass amp. I own guitar amps, but no real bass amps. But man, this green looks sick. I hope that this lighting is showing it off well. This raw tone, like worn green finish, this is sick. I love it. I really do love finishes like this because over time they'll wear in naturally. You'll be able to naturally relic these instead of having to buy something that's already reliced or take sandpaper and stuff like that to it. This will relic over time on its own because it's not sprayed with a gloss finish. It's one of my favorite ways to have a guitar finished. This looks sick. Just like other GOC products, you do have that flush mount input jack, which is also super nice because I love using angled cables, and so that keeps it out of the way for me. Your battery clip on the back, which actually does need to be used on this. Again, this is an active instrument. It's not a passive instrument like the guitars are. So you do need to use that. And then you have your cavity cover as well. Damn. This is ridiculous. I can already feel just like the guitars, the fit and finish of this are really, really, really sick. These frets, if you haven't played a GOC guitar, you haven't played good frets in my opinion. I know it's controversial. You've probably played some good frets before, but the fretwork that the team does on these is just ridiculous. I have guitars much more expensive than this, and basses much more expensive than this, like 3 times, and the frets don't feel this good. Like, this is pretty damn good. Now, for those that are asking about weight and balance, this is, I think it's about 8.5 pounds if I'm not mistaken. It's not terribly heavy. It's actually lighter than the original prototype. The upper horn is where the strap button is mounted here. And so it does sit pretty well like that. You can see it's hanging from my finger right now. So not really any neck dive there. We'll find out in a second. I'll put a strap on it, no pun intended, and we'll make it sit on me and see how it sits. The horn comes about to the bottom of the 12th fret right here. So not quite to the middle of the 12th fret, but about to the bottom of it. Again, this is a 35 inch scale bass. So let's go ahead and grab a strap real quick, and I'm gonna do a standing test and see how it sits on me. I think it sits pretty well. Not really any neck dive to speak of here. Sorry, my head's cut off on screen here, but I just wanted to make sure I could show you all this. So this is the bass and how it sits. I have a fairly aggressive, like, grippy strap that I'm using right now, and so it does grip my shirt a little bit, but you can see as I'm moving around, there's barely any neck dive on it, and I think it's because of the way that the body's shaped and where this horn is at. So that was more feedback that GOC took to the drawing board for all of you. So let's go ahead and sit back down. All right, so with the pickguard, I'm going to just place it on here. I'm not going to actually install it, but this is what it would look like with the pickguard on it. I don't know about you, but I think that looks way better with the pickguard. Again, tell me team pickguard or team no pickguard. I'm fully team pickguard. If this was my guitar, I would be leaving that on there. So to the person that is getting this bass, I hope you keep it on there. It looks pretty damn sick. I'm gonna leave it on there just because it looks really nice. So yeah. Now, I did tell you all that there was a little bit of a surprise with that second box behind me because there is one more big, giant, fat piece of feedback that GOC took it to heart and did something with it. So I'm gonna grab that other box real quick. Hold on. All right, so this, sorry I'm waving my knife around, but this, box number 2, this one is mine. This is the bass that will be replacing my Dingwall. And I think that should tell you what the changes are in and of itself, right? The changes are everything that 35 inch one got, right? All of the same new pickup array, new bridge system, all of that good stuff. But one other very key, very big change for those of us that play in very low tunings. You know, it's probably hard to see behind me, but I've got a lot of 7 strings. Huge fan of 8 strings. Huge fan of low tunings. Hence, mostly the metalcore, deathcore stuff you see on this channel. And I needed a bass to do that all. And you know, I'm a GOC artist, so I wanted something from GOC to do it. The previous prototype, I tuned down to drop G like once. Wasn't the best at it. A 3335 it's rough if you're tuning to drop G. You know, it's not the best scale length to do it. We all know that longer scale lengths make for more stable tunings in those lower registers. And sure, I could program bass, but I don't like to. I like to play bass. I like to have real bass on my recordings. And so GOC took care of that. And they, not because of me though, they took care of that because of the feedback from all of you. You guys all really wanted a 34, 37-inch bass. So let's see if this hits the mark. I just gotta open it. All right, so when I told GOC that I wanted one of these, I told them I needed a loud one. You know, not necessarily volume-wise loud. They're all gonna be loud volume-wise. Another Pickguard. Can already see the color is exactly what I wanted. You know, even if you don't like headless guitars and basses, even if you don't like GOC for that matter, you gotta admit, GOC really nails these finishes, man. Their team at the factory just crushes it every single time. I've loved all of the ones that I've gotten. Let's try and get this thing off. I really do hate this stuff, but it's necessary for shipping. Oh man, there it is. There it is. That looks ridiculous. So, this, you can see it's barely fitting on camera. I gotta back up a little bit to keep it in view there. This is a 34-37 scale length Illumina bass. Again, 5-string. This one weighs a little bit more because of the extra neck and body, obviously. And again, not really much to talk about as far as neck dive because of the placement of the strap button on the upper horn. Dude, this is ridiculous. Let's get that up in the light here. And just like the other one, let's go ahead and take the Pickguard and we'll put it on. 100% team Pickguard on there. I don't know about y'all, but Pickguard just looks sick. I just love that, dude. Look at how that pink just shines. Ugh, that looks so good, man. Again, I want to reiterate that the reason these exist in the shape and form that they do now is because of all of the feedback from all of you. Everybody was super intentional and critical with their feedback on that original prototype. And that helped to shape and form what GOC would then turn these basses into. These are definitely riffing machines. These are built so solidly. They have the same quality that goes into all of GOC's guitars. And these just have less strings and longer scale lengths, you know? So let me get my setup all cleaned up here, and then we're gonna jump into Logic Pro and use Parallax and maybe a couple of other amp sims, and we're gonna do some tone tests here, so BRB. All right, so as promised, we're here with some bass tone testing. We're gonna go with the 3335 first. It's just tuned to B standard because that's what it ships set up in. And again, this bass is going to somebody else, and so I'm not going to set it up for my preferences because that's for them to do. I'm just here to do some tone tests. So here's just the DI signal. All right, so now this should be just the bridge pickup. Not gonna go through all the strings on that. Let's go ahead and go to the neck pickup now. All right, so that's how it sounds blended and with either the neck or the bridge pickup with just the DI. Let's go and listen to some good old Parallax, shall we? Sounds pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and bring some gain out of that. So we don't need that much gain. Let's hear how it sounds. Let's take a little bit of the mid drive out of it too. Let's go ahead and compress the lows a little bit more. Sounds good. It's doing the clank thing and I don't even have the high distortion on, so let's bring that back up. All right, now we need to do the same with the 3437. Let's check that out. I forgot to put a battery in it, so we're gonna have to do that first. I haven't tuned this one or anything yet, so you guys are gonna hear it for the first time at the same exact time I do. Gotta get a battery in it. All right, we've got the battery in. All right, I guess we should tune it first. So I don't know if you guys are seeing how easily I'm turning these tuners, but it's kind of ridiculous. It's just as easy as the guitars are. Dude, it sounds good just on the DI. So right now we've got a blend of both pickups just as before, and this is what it sounds like. All right, and then really quickly we'll do the neck pickup. And the bridge pickup. And we'll go back to a blend and we're gonna turn on Parallax again, which you already kind of heard, but let's go ahead and bring down the high drive and the mid drive and go for more of a clean-ish Ampeg tone. And let's go to just the neck pickup. And just the bridge pickup. And let's go to a blend again, and let's do this with some drive. So high drive up halfway, mid drive up halfway. Actually, I should let you all hear the Dingwall. And just for comparison's sake, I do now have my Dingwall just so that you all know that I'm not just talking out my rear when it comes to comparing these GOC guitars to, you know, top of the leaderboard here. Dingwall makes fantastic bass guitars. And this has been my daily driver for anything below A for years now. It's a fantastic bass guitar. I truly have nothing bad to say about it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna leave this on the same exact Parallax X preset that I had made, and I'm going to let you hear. We are in B standard just to keep things fair, because even though this is a long scale bass, just like the pink Illumina that we were playing a second ago, I want to keep things fair as far as tuning goes. These are also brand new strings, which hurt me to put on here because the Dingwall strings are $80 a set. They are not cheap, man. Everything is in the middle down here, and we are on the last notch on the pickup like tone selector, and then the toggle switch is in the down position. And then just a quick preview of the DI only. Any fret buzz that you're hearing there is not a fault of the instrument. I haven't properly set this one up in a little bit, so I do notice a little bit of fret buzz there that shouldn't normally be happening on a Dingwall bass. Whereas those GOC Illuminas have been recently set up, so I didn't hear or feel any fret buzz on those. So this hasn't been set up in probably about a year. So again, just want to keep things fair and a little bit impartial there. Now, all of this to say though, this bass is quite a bit more expensive than the Illumina basses. The Illumina basses are around $995 US plus $100 shipped. They are not a budget bass as far as build quality goes, as far as pickups go, as far as the neck goes, the wood, everything on them. They're not budget basses by any means. They're high quality basses, and GOC's whole thing is to just keep them affordable so that the everyday player can have a premium product that they can trust on stage and in the studio. So after showing you that Dingwall bass, I want to tell you why I showed you the Dingwall bass. Obviously, with this pickup array and placement, people are going to be comparing the Dingwall bass to the GOC constantly. And the Dingwall basses are the top of the leaderboard as far as quality goes, as far as price goes, because they're roughly 3 times the price of one of these GOC Illumina basses. These start out at around $995 US, which in my opinion is a steal. I told GOC that they could be selling these for $1,500 easily, and I would personally purchase them at that price point. So these are a steal at that price point. Look out for future batches of them. I can't talk about what the prices will be on those because I simply don't know. That's not in my wheelhouse there. But again, I wanted to be fair and impartial and show you guys that yes, I own a Dingwall bass, and yes, I can confidently compare it to these GOC Illumina basses and say that I would pick these at this point. And yes, I am biased. Obviously, we get that. I am biased. But given the value that I'm getting out of these basses, getting the sound, given the playability of the AO neck, that is why I would choose these every single time. Plus, they're lighter, pretty much zero neck dive, perfect for live use or in the studio. I think you guys are gonna see a ridiculous amount of these out on the market very soon because people are going to buy them little by little, and they're going to see that these are 100% worth the money. But these are sick. This sounds ridiculous. GOC took so much of what you guys gave as feedback and went to the drawing table. As I've said a million times, I think I've said drawing table like 18 times in this video. Somebody can count it and let me know. But they took it all back to that drawing table and they came out swinging with these basses. Yes, I'm biased here. I got sent one for free. Obviously I'm biased, but I'm also just somebody who loves gear and loves to play a sick bass, hence why I have that prototype from before here. And I've got a Dingwall up on my wall, which I can safely say at this point, I'm ready to sell it. I've been waiting for a great headless bass that's in my price range, and this is it. This is the bass. This is my daily driver from now on. In fact, actually, I do need one of these 3335s next because I want to keep it in drop D and E standard, and so that will be my next purchase, is to grab one of these, hopefully in this green. I kind of don't want to send it out to the guy that actually owns this bass. Yeah, it looks too sick. But if I didn't cover everything you wanted to know about these basses today, let me know down in the comments because you're going to see some more videos, because I have a little bit larger gauge set of strings for this that I'm going to put on, and I'm going to tune it down to drop G. And that's going to be my next video, is how this sounds in drop G and drop C as well, because that's what I tend to use a 5-string bass for, is I keep the low string in G no matter what, so that way I can record music for my 7-string songs. And then I will keep the rest of it in C because it's G, C, G, C, so it's basically drop C with a octave G underneath it. And that's my favorite tuning for a 5-string bass. So my next video showcasing this exact bass is going to be showcasing that. I don't know if I'll have time to do more with the 3335 Illumina bass, just because this, again, it belongs to somebody else. I need to ship it out to them ASAP. I'm sure they're waiting with bated breath right now to be able to try it. But yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you all found this informational. I hope you all pick one of these up during the next batch release. Please make sure to subscribe and go follow me on Instagram, because you'll see me post a lot about these over there. That's also where you'll be able to find out when GOC releases the next batch of these. So make sure to follow me on Instagram. Obviously, I'm going to put myself in there, but hit that follow on GOC's Instagram page, because all of their announcements come through there first. So until next time, peace and love, and I'll talk to you on the next one.